Coming up in tonight's bulletin, the Solomon Islands Electoral Commission office went up in flames early this morning. The Public Service Bill 2025 aims to enable a modern, transparent, and high-performing public service. And TSI strongly condemned the proposed Mineral Resources Bill 2025, describing it as a dangerous piece of legislation. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Andrea Maahanwa. Thick smoke filled the skies over Honiara this morning as flames engulfed the Solomon Islands Electoral Commission's office. Emergency responders rushed to the scene and were able to contain the blaze before it could spread to nearby buildings. The aftermath of the fire incident saw extensive damages to the building. No injuries have been reported, and the cause of the fire remains unknown, with investigations expected to begin soon. SIBC TV reached out for comments from Chief Electoral Officer Jasper Highwood Anisi. However, no statement has been made, as he is yet to return to Honiara from Malaita Province. Government is set to improve the public service sector through the proposed Public Service Bill 2025, which aims to promote transparency, efficiency, and merit-based recruitment in line with national and international standards. Sharon Anau reports.
The Public Service Bill 2025 will enable a modern, transparent and high-performing public service that is better aligned with national development goals and international standards. Ministry of Public Service Permanent Secretary Luke Cheka made the statement when appearing before the Bills and Legislation Committee hearing into the bill on Monday. He said the legislation is designed to strengthen integrity, enhance efficiency and ensure merit-based recruitment and management across the public sector.
This bill marks an important step in reforming the framework that governs the Solomon's public service. The Public Service Act of 1988 has guided our administration for more than 3 decades. However, the changing demands of the governance, service delivery and accountability require us to adopt a more modern legislative framework. This proposed bill seeks to strengthen integrity, improve efficiency, ensure that recruitment, promotion and management within the public service are based on merit and fairness. It also provides for clearly accountability mechanisms, professional standards and leadership principles that reflect both our national development aspiration and international best practice. For the Ministry of Public Service, this bill is not only about adopting legislation, it is about ensuring that our public service remains fit for purpose and able to meet the expectations of people and responsive to the challenge of the future.
He said the bill is divided into 14 parts addressing preliminary matters, roles and responsibilities, principles and values, and a robust code of conduct.
As you can see, the bill before it has 14 parts. The first part looks at the preliminary matters. The second part look at interpretation, and then part 3 you look at the scope of application of the act. Part 4 you look at the principles, values, and the code of conduct. Part 5 it looks at roles and responsibility and functions. Part 6 it looks at the employment and management. Part 7 it looks at workforce development and training. Part 8 it looks at employment conduct. Part 9 is other employment. Part 10 it looks at employment grievances. Part 11, it looks at employment relations. Part 12, offences and penalties. Part 13, it looks at miscellaneous matters. And then Part 4 is repeal and transition provisions.
The bill was first introduced in 2010 to 2011. Since then, it has undergone over a decade of consultation and revisions and now aims to replace the outdated Public Service Act of 1988. Sharon Nanal for SIBC TV.
Transparency Solomon Islands TSI has strongly condemned the proposed Mineral Resources Bill 2025, describing it as a dangerous piece of legislation that undermines customary land ownership, legal process, and good governance. According to TSI, the bill is not designed to fix the long-standing issues in the mining sector, but instead seeks to legalize irregular practices already happening on the ground. The organization warns that the bill favors foreign mining interests over the rights of indigenous landowners, many of whom have not been properly consulted or compensated.
Transparency Solomon Islands opposes the Mineral Resources Bill 2025. At a glance, this bill is nothing more than a means to legalize what is already happening on the ground and is not informed by the issues observed in the mining sector and on people's customary land and their plight at the moment. With a long list of the so-called mining companies appearing before this committee, it indicates that the whole country has been carved out and given to them. Transparency Solomon Islands urges the Bills and Legislation Committee to demand that the Ministry of Mines and Energy releases the tenement map to the media and publishing it so that we are not passing a bill for something that has already been determined and given out without the proper processes required under existing legislation. Such as mining lease areas where land was not acquired and no boundary identification done, normally a requirement covered under the Surface Access Agreement for entering people's land that is now no longer there. We only have access.
TSI says the bill also lacks clear provisions for financial due diligence, making it easier for unqualified and potentially corrupt investors to exploit the country's resources.
This bill does not encourage responsible mining, nor will it attract genuine mining companies to come and properly develop the mineral resources in our country. This bill in its current state is confusing and contradictory. It says one thing in one clause, very nice, really nice, and then it goes and contradicts it in the next clause. It is clear with the contradictions and confusion that it is throughout the bill that it is not going to attract genuine investors, but only corrupt ones that do not care about people and environment. Mining business is an expensive business. I work in mining for 4 years, sitting at the management level, and we spent millions each day.
For the first time in over 3 decades, Solomon Islands hosted the Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Meeting last week, a historic gathering marked by the notable absence of the region's dialogue partners following their deferment to next year's summit in Palau. Sharon Anau reports.
The Solomon Islands hosted the Pacific Island Forum Leaders Meeting last week, the first in over 30 years. One notable aspect of the event was the absence of the region's dialogue partners. Last month, Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele announced the deferment of the annual Dialogue Partners meeting until the next Leaders Summit in Palau. Prime Minister Manele addressed the deferment at a press conference on Friday following the leaders' retreat.
Our partners are very important. We recognize their efforts, their contributions in terms of the implementation of regional programs and projects. But it is also very important for the forum, for the region, as a region, we need to be prepared, we need to be ready in order for us to effectively engage with our partners going forward.
Honourable Manele explains the approach has enabled leaders to openly discuss the critical issues facing the region.
A number of leaders have told me that it has given them a bit more opportunity to talk with each other, especially attending the dialogue sessions with the private sector, with the crop agencies, as well as with civil society. So a bit more time for us to interact and to engage among ourselves. So that's important as well. We hope that the partnership policy that will be worked on this year, we hope that will be ready before Palau, so that come Palau we can re-engage with our partners But it's not only through the forum process that our partners are engaged. We also engage with our partners under other avenues and forums. Yeah, so that engagement continues.
Sharon Nanal, SIBC TV.
Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Kologeto has welcomed the growing number of political parties in Solomon Islands, crediting the Political Parties Integrity Act for encouraging political participation despite ongoing financial and operational challenges. Simon Tavake reports.
Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Frederick Kologeto has praised the increase of political parties in the country since the introduction of the Political Parties Integrity Act. Speaking during the International Day of Democracy this week, the Deputy Prime Minister said it is encouraging to witness the continued growth of political parties in Solomon Islands. He noted that despite the financial and operational challenges political parties face, working together is essential to overcome these obstacles and move forward.
I'm convinced that since the inception of the Political Parties Integrity Act, political parties are beginning to grow and become more noticeable in our political landscape. This is very encouraging as a party wing leader of a party within the GNAT coalition. I'm greatly encouraged by the growth of political parties in the Solomon Islands. I also do understand the challenges that political parties face, especially with finances. However, we are a young democracy and such challenges are expected. It is, however, we overcome the challenge that is important. I believe that if we are committed to making sacrifices to grow political parties, we can overcome these challenges.
Meanwhile, Cameron Dra, Minister Counsellor at the Australian High Commission Office in Honiara, reaffirmed Australia's support, announcing an assistance package of around 15 million Solomon dollars for civil society organizations to strengthen their capacity as watchdogs in the country's democratic system.
Democracy entails all the systems that enable people to have a say in how their country is run, including having a strong civil society and an accountable and transparent institutions.
Simon Tavake, SIBC TV.
Honiara City Council is working to establish a sister city relationship with Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Alex Dadamo with more in this story.
The Honiara City Council is in talks with Port Moresby Council in Papua New Guinea to establish a sister relationship between the two cities. Honiara City Mayor Eddie Siapu made the announcement during Papua New Guinea Honiara Community Independence Anniversary celebrations yesterday in Honiara. He said discussions is expected to be formalized at the end of this year or in the first quarter of next year.
My government is having discussion with the governor and administration of Port Moresby City to establish sister relation with this major national capital. We envisage to progress discussions and formalize relations by the end of this year or first quarter of 2026.
Siapu adds that Solomon Islands has benefited immensely from PNG over the years.
Since attaining independence from our colonial masters, to this day, our relationship continues to grow stronger and stronger. Solomon Islands look up to Papua New Guinea as a big brother and has benefited immensely from support provided by your country.
Alex Dadamo for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.